Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Roundabout podcast. Sitting here with a great friend of mine, Itai White, also known as the strong sister of the White family. Uh,
Hey,
so Itai, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? How are you today?
Good, good.
That's good.
So yeah, guys. Back on the Roundabout. Um, Out here getting it done. Trying to get these episodes pushed out. Ita's series is going to be a three-part series. We're shooting for three parts. She has a lot of story to tell in her journey with Christ and who she is and how she's developed as a person. Also, a big, big spiritual, platonic friend, best friend, sister. Me and Ita has been really tight over the past 3 plus years. We, I believe we seen each other the first time in our eighth grade summer, going into ninth grade at Project 3C.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a long
I
time ago.
remember Etaj. She had I remember one of the pictures we took. She had an orange jumpsuit on or something like. I can't remember exactly. Something orange, and we took a
Yeah.
picture, and I'll never forget her for that. And anyway, and we met up again in freshman year, and we've been close, very close ever since. So,
Mhm.
um, played a big part in my life in the way I've mentally and spiritually developed, you know, and appreciate her joining.
Oh, thank you for having me. You play a really big part of my life too.
So Itai is actually an upcoming musician. Me and Itai is actually on the same major, in the same major at UNCP. She's from the Saddle Tree community of North Carolina, here in Robinson County, and she's really a great person to be around. So Itai, just go ahead and get our traction here, and just tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what is some things you like to do? What are some things like, what are some things you've accomplished so far as an upcoming musician, and some background before we dive in?
Okay, so I always start off with I taught myself how to play the guitar. So there's no logical theory
Yeah.
of how like I play the guitar. I just feel it most of the times. But I've watched YouTube video after YouTube video of how to play the guitar or like you know, if I wanted to learn a song or like a little riff, I would play that.
Mhm.
But it came with practice and patience. It did teach me patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So Itai, me and Itai had a story we're gonna tell y'all in the next part, but me and her had a segment one time. We became a two person band.
Yeah.
Played the piano, and she played the was it your guitar or my bass?
I think we switched out. I think I was playing the guitar one time, and then you were on the piano, and then you were on the bass, and then I was on the piano.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple of videos out there,
Yeah.
but yeah, guys. So Itai is gonna tell us a little bit about herself and how like just like her story as a person. Even though she's an upcoming rising artist, and Ethan's never actually did a podcast, so I'm trying to get this traction for her. Go ahead. She has a really talented voice. She's a really talented individual. So, guys, if you're actually booking or looking for someone for your
Mhm.
weddings, um, on little concerts or anything like that, such of that manner, Itai White, you can find her on Facebook or Instagram. She actually has a album out right now. What is that
Woohoo.
album called, Itai?
Reflections and ambience of color.
A beautiful album.
Yeah.
There's one song. I'm gonna just let you. I'm not even gonna talk about it because I think I'm gonna just incorporate that somehow in the next part. But yeah, go ahead and just tell us, Ita.
Okay.
Like, I know you've been through a lot. A lot of people don't know your story, and everyone always looks to you as a great, smiling individual, a great personality,
Mhm.
a great person to be around. Especially always knows how to brighten your day. Always caring for others. It gives a lot of herself to other people and other things as such. Um, just want to make sure that people know who you are.
Mhm.
Before we get on this traction of, you know, the meat and potatoes, like give us the details. Like,
Okay.
I know we got a basis that
Yeah.
you're a singer, songwriter. You know,
Mhm.
you're fourth year senior,
Mhm.
um, at UNCP,
Yeah.
and you got a lot of other stuff going on for you. People want to find out about you, find you on Facebook and Instagram. You have a big character, but tell us about your childhood. Tell us a little bit about like the experience you have, and like tell us
Okay.
about that family, that big
Okay.
family you have.
Okay. For starters, I have 6 sisters, no boys, and I did have 3 brothers, 2 older ones that my mom had a miscarriage of,
Oh
and then
wow.
I was a twin, and then I consumed him in the womb. Um, yeah, I think I've made that my personality. Anyways, so we'll start from there. I have 6 sisters. That's a lot of
Mhm.
girls in one household.
Yeah.
So yeah,
6 sisters or there's 7,
yeah. There's 7 altogether, well, including me. I'm number 5.
and then your mom, Ginger.
Yeah, my
That
mom.
was 8 in total at one point.
Yes, there was 8
Wow.
in total living in the house at one point. At one point, not anymore. But
Everyone
yeah,
spread out.
it things change. So my parents had my 3 sisters, well, 4 sisters, and then they divorced
Mhm.
around the year I was born, 2004. So that happened. My mom remarried, and she had 2 other kids,
Mhm.
and that's my hearts. I love them. They're great.
You know what are their names?
Oh, they are Harmony and Jewel.
Harmony and Jewel.
Harmony Grace and Ember Jewel.
Mm.
Yeah, they're a little balls of
Diamonds.
sunshines.
Yes.
Catch them on the right day. Anyways, so then there's that, and she had Harmony when I was about like 12. So
Wow.
yeah, I was very excited. Yeah,
You weren't the baby no more.
I wasn't, and I was used to being a baby, but oh well, I guess I got used to having 2 more. I did. They're great. I love having little sisters. Anyways, so fast forward to, the living situation throughout our years. Um, 3 of my sisters stayed with my dad, and then the 2 of us stayed with my mom, and then the 2 little ones came along.
Yeah.
So we were kind of separated in like me coming up and like growing up in middle school, except for my other sister, the one that's number 4. So me and her are really close. So yeah, fast forward to all of that. Okay. And around that time, my mom had been saved for a while. She wasn't saved like all the years I was born.
Yeah.
So I came here in first grade, and I think
Where's
that
here?
I was born in Connecticut,
Okay.
and I moved here to Robeson County because that's where all our family was.
So you lived in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Do you remember that any?
Yeah, I do. I do. Just a little bit. Just like my best friends and like what my
Yeah.
teachers look like. And,
Wow.
Yeah. I barely remember
amazing.
the houses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fast forward here. That's when I was like in first grade. That's when I started going to my home church, Beth Hill Baptist Church,
Mm.
and my grandma's mama actually went there. So that was like our home church, and everybody knew Mama and stuff. And she was just like, they were great to see her because they hadn't seen her in a while, and now she had me and 2 little ones. So it was fun. It was fun to reconnect with our church family because they love us. They're great.
Yeah.
Ever since then, we've had a pretty strong root. My mom planted the seed of being in church, and because the word of God never vanishes. You're always gonna remember it.
Yeah.
So she figured that she would get that early. So we were brought up in the church, and we didn't really go anywhere else. We stood there. We stayed there. And
At the church.
We didn't go anywhere.
At Bethel Hill.
Yeah, at Bethel Hill. I mean, we
Okay.
would go to the Rock sometimes.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
yeah.
That's There's probably been times because like when I was a child, like my dad's family when my mom first married my dad, which was her first husband. That's where he was. He was from Lumberton. That's where my dad's family went. You know, we went to Rock for a couple of years, like a good bit, and Bethel Hill was on and off. I remember Bethel Hill when I was a child,
Mm.
but like I never, I can't remember it, but like
Yeah.
I know I was told, you know. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're known for a praying church, so
Hmm.
yeah, we live up to that name because they taught me prayer works, especially with the community and
Hmm.
not just my mama, telling me prayer works. I had to see it for myself.
Yeah,
There's been
yeah, and
yeah.
just to touch on that, like,
Mhm.
um, I remember you and your sister, you know, still talking the story of who you are as an individual. I remember, me and Mink and you had a moment where we was in your apartment and we was talking about something situation. This was last year.
Mhm.
I think it was last fall, a year ago, really. And I just remember, you know, we was talking about prayer and you know how the impact of it. But like it encouraged me in a way like you have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
You just can't be like, well, it's gonna work. You know that faith of a mustard seed,
Yeah.
but it's not even about the faith of a mustard seed. It's about what's in the mustard seed,
It's the
like the growth.
determination. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's yeah.
like if you use that mustard seed for the right way, it's gonna blossom.
Right.
Um,
You can't plant the mustard seed and then not feed it water. Like
yeah,
you gotta, you
yeah,
gotta.
you gotta
Yeah.
get in there. You gotta be like, I gotta fertilize this thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's a faith building block. It
Mhm.
definitely is. When Jesus talked about the mustard seed, and my pastor actually spoke on it a couple months ago about it, and I remember him saying you know, around this, he around this topic of being a mustard seed, like just the point of the mustard seed wasn't just to be stopped at the seed.
Mhm.
Every seed reproduces its own fruit. Every seed reproduces its own fruit,
Yeah.
meaning that once it's planted and rooted
Right.
and it flourishes, it's going to produce more.
Right. And I think that's what my mom did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you really think about it, like any aspect, like any good that you ever planted, it usually comes back in a good way.
Right. It does. It does.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like 3 times as more.
Yeah, yeah, that multiplication,
Yeah.
because like you can take an apple seed and in the right places plant an apple, and you get like 100 apples from that one tree that one year,
Yeah.
and then you get 100 more seeds, and then you get 100 more apples from each 100 seeds. It's
Mhm.
what 10,000 apples right there in 2 years.
Mhm.
If every seed was successful,
Yeah.
just talk to logistics and
Hypothetically.
yeah,
Yeah.
scientifically,
Yeah.
just 10,000, 100 times 100, right?
Yeah.
10,000.
Yeah.
So, like, a little encouragement for whoever's listening, like, be consistent in your mustard seed's faith.
Mhm.
Continue to have faith. Continue to build upon that seed.
Yeah.
Like, as Itai continues on, she has multiple crazy stories, but I'm sure she's gonna tell you one that really impacted her life and like changed her trajectory on how she views it. But it takes a praying community. It takes valuable a value of community that
Yeah.
becomes rooted. If that makes sense, like you can have a community, you can have a very good community, but if you're not valued in that community, or
Mhm.
it's if it's like on and off and not
Even
consistent.
respected though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can have a community be like, yeah, I love you, but I don't respect you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
like the long wooded spoon thing.
Mhm.
Like I got a lot of people be like, well, I love him from a distance, baby. That ain't love.
You're right.
That is not love. And I know my accent's coming out right now, but that is not love.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like that's like taking a seed and throwing it across the field and never watering it or putting it in the dirt.
Yeah.
Just letting it dry up in the sun. That ain't love.
Or saying that you would help plant the seed and then just throw it and then never check
Yeah,
on it.
never till it,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But anyway, getting back on track, you said you was Bethel Hill
Oh yeah.
and the Rock, and like how did that trajectory of like your life and definitely being involved in music and a lot of other things
Mhm.
in your life, and
Yeah.
still taking helping raise your sisters, your two little sisters, being a household, and
Mhm.
You know, living in Robeson County, it's sometimes it is the bare minimum where you have to get by in certain aspects, especially when you have a bigger household with a single parent.
Right.
Um, I know Itai personally, so that's why I say that.
Yeah.
But you know, averagely, it is hard.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So, like, how did you navigate that, even with a praying church community? Like,
Yeah.
how did you and your family like navigate that, and how did it become like a influence in your life for music?
Okay. So, this is funny. My mom, I think she comes up in all of this
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
she's the root of it. She she had rheumatoid arthritis, and sometimes we couldn't make it to church. So I couldn't rely solely on the community of the church. I had to have my own personal relationship with God, and I had to see it through my mom. So,
Mhm.
and one of the ways that she would do that is, have church at home, and not all not like, oh, we're just gonna have church at home and talk about a few things. No, this was all day. This was all day, and she would she would not let us live it down. We'd wake up in the morning. If it was Sunday, we'll do Sunday. We'd wake up in the morning. We wouldn't even wake up. She would wake us up, and she would listen to worship music. She listened to all types of music, but in the mornings on Sunday, she would listen to worship music, and that's what woke us up, and that's what how we knew what day it was. So she would wake us up like that, and I think I picked that up. I could be like, "Oh, Mama's gonna have a good day today because she's listening to listening to
Yeah.
worship music." But also in my head, we couldn't make it to church that day, maybe because she wasn't feeling as good as she wanted to be. But I think she instilled it in me that that faith of a mustard seed is all you need. And a lot of times I've seen her pray and pray and pray, and just the amount of dedication and prayer and thankfulness that she'd give, like, it would all come back 10,000s more than what we'd expected. Or we'd catch a conversation or meet somebody in Walmart or something, and she had discernment. And I think that's where just like the seeing came in, of how she was and how she loved the Lord so much. You could see it anywhere. Anybody who met her would tell that. And I think she always told me, to keep that relationship with God and pray, and just talk to him. He just wants you to talk to him. And I think I kept that on the walls of my heart.
Mhm.
Just, if he's there when you need a friend, he's there when you're feeling sad, like,
Yeah.
especially like growing up. And I think that since she instilled that Jesus is always there for me and he's always there to talk, I automatically knew, like, if I'm in trouble, and I don't want to tell Mama this, hey, Jesus has got me. Jesus has got me, but.
Hey, that's right. That's
Right,
right.
yeah. But I think I picked it up a bunch through music, because she'd listen to music a lot and she'd listen to preaching a lot. And
That Southern preaching.
yeah,
That
she
that
would.
89.5.
Yeah, and she'd turn it on blast. She'd put it on the TV speakers. We couldn't get away from it. Sometimes she would move the speaker like throughout the hallway. We could not get away from it. And I think I just put all of that energy into what I was feeling, into listening to music,
Yeah.
or in how I felt. I think that's how I incorporate how I feel into my music.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just I just thought about it, but like sometimes you do need that.
Mhm.
I mean, it definitely in a person, like if you wasn't raised around it, or like that consistency of having that environment, it does become a lost cause.
Mhm.
You can experience it one time and be hooked forever,
Yeah.
but you also can experience a false gospel one time and never want to experience it again.
Right.
And like it seems like she never forced it down your throat,
Mm-mm.
but she made sure you was there and
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that you couldn't. It's like that urge on your heart, like when you did something bad,
Yeah.
or like like okay, I shouldn't have done that, but I did
Mhm.
do it.
Mhm.
Life goes on.
Yeah.
Long story short, I'm still here.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, like she was there.
Yeah.
You know, she instilled that in you, as you said. You know,
Mhm.
having 7 girls to raise,
Yeah.
um, definitely, definitely,
And she instilled it in every single one of us.
yeah. And,
And
and
yeah.
and it seemed like it did carry very strong, faithfully, like as you know, knowing your family and stuff. And you know, we definitely have our own journeys in that walk with Christ, but you know, it all circles back into the foundations of it. Like it, you know, like this is like God never giving up for the one out of the 99.
Right.
Like he went after that
Yeah.
sucker. He went after that sheep
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, you coming back home?" You
Mhm.
know, he didn't just stop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, one's gone. Well, I guess I'll focus on these other ones.
Yeah.
You know, he like that's just like a little piggyback,
Mhm.
even though it's not singling it out. You know, those 7 girls your mom was raising, like she was she was making sure,
Mhm.
like she did everything she could
Yeah.
to instill that. You know, in the most positive way for sure.
Mhm.
You know, it does carry out through your memories in different ways, but
Yeah. Especially their music.
yeah, and so like yeah, with the music part, like what you said you incorporated, you know, music was a really big part of your life, and
Mhm.
you know, I'm sure the Southern gospel and stuff, like geographically, we're out here in Southeast North Carolina, and we have a lot of influence of Pentecostal and holiness and Church of God, and as other such as, um, so like your style of music is completely different to that,
It is.
and I mean, you know, your music is a flavor of all kinds of sorts. Like it is very, it's that Billie Eilish style.
Yeah.
It's a very soft,
Yeah. It's like
but it's
indie.
also like a very peaceful, like
Mhm.
you know, I find various ways of worship. Like sometimes you can just hum a tone,
Mhm.
and like sometimes I'm in church and when we're singing and we're within that moment, like Holy Spirit's just overwhelming us. I start singing like a harmony,
Mhm.
you know, a peaceful harmony, and it's not me shouting. It's just giving honor,
Mhm.
you know. And so how does that incorporate? Like how does that challenge you as a musician who is solely different? Like you know,
Yeah.
you're your own individual. You all got different personalities. All your sisters,
Mhm.
even though your characteristics are the same. Some like physically and
Yeah.
maybe personality wise, but you're all distinctly different. Like you can tell who opened the fridge last, or
Yeah.
you can tell who went in the cabinet last. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Knowing, just giving a little background and knowing, you know, all your sisters, but knowing
Mhm.
you the best.
Yeah.
How does your style of music incorporate to your like walk with Christ, even though it may not be considered a worship song
Mhm.
or a piece of holy music? So, like it's not like every single word is not like
Yeah.
giving honor, but like more so it's giving honor to your past
Yeah.
and like bringing you forward.
Mhm.
Like how do you incorporate that? How would you incorporate it? Encourage someone like making their own style of music or their own music, even though like it may not be considered 100% or a solid statement of gospel,
Mhm.
but like how does it tie? Like
I,
how does people
yeah.
like circle back to you and
Okay.
say, okay, Etah's trying to give us something here
Yeah.
in
I
this
think
music?
it comes from the place where you deliver the music,
Mhm.
and part of that place where I am is giving things and giving honor, because I
Yeah.
have lost so much, but on top of that I have gained so much. And I think at the point of where I am and where I was in that state really helps me, because I know in my soul that I never would have made it. Never would have made it without His grace and mercy, and
Yeah.
that's made me new every day. And I know that. And I'll try to, you talked about the peaceful tone that I have. I guess that I just try to come off as peaceful and as, you know, peaceful and graceful as possible.
Mhm.
And again, that's the only, like, that's just my voice, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely the place that it's coming from too.
Mhm.
And even if my lyrics aren't, the what someone would consider gospel, I think you could take any of my songs and apply it to what you're feeling, or how you feel about a certain way, or even turn it into a prayer.
Yeah.
And I think that it's great that I like to kind of leave open some of my lyrics. I'm not gonna say all of my songs, but some of my lyrics are left for you to interpretate, and they're basically yours to give.
Like your own piece to,
Yeah,
like your own
yeah,
personality.
yeah. Like I would want you to listen to it and be like, I'm in this place, you know. Like I'm in this peace place per se, or
Yeah.
yeah.
And you did all this through what though? What app?
I did all of the whole album with GarageBand on my phone.
On her phone, which is quite
Yes.
amazing. So I challenge everyone to go ahead and check that out. I believe this will end our part one, leaving you guys on a cliffhanger, wanting to come back. So this is Itai White. Um,
Oh.
Itai, tell us what your middle name means.
So Itai is Tutlo for strong, and
Hmm.
Manik means sister. So my name is Strong Sister.
Hey, so she definitely is a strong sister for herself, her own family, and
Try to
definitely a
be.
lot other people. Um, Eton's a great person to be around. So, guys, we'll see you on the next one, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace out on the roundabout.